WandaVision
WandaVision
finale.
We've done it. We made it all the way through.
These are just getting looser and looser. It's a wonder we've gotten to the end of this.
It's a wonder.
I've lost the ability to say wonder. Like, the word wonder is out of my vocabulary. It's been swapped with wonder. Like, it's just gone. I've called I feel like I've talked about this before, but I've called Wonder. I can't even say it. Called Wonder Woman so many times. It's
Wonder Woman.
It's Wonder Woman.
That's the best.
But we're here. We're going to be running full spoilers, so just be ready. You've got to have watched those credit scenes. You've got to be watching the episode as well, assumedly, because we're going to be talking about all of that. We're not going spoiler free because it's the finale.
There's no point. Go watch it. Get out of here. If you haven't watched it, get.
Let's start with the good. The Vision stuff was great.
Yeah.
Once again, Vision just proved that he is actually the main character of this entire series. I don't actually want to do that. That was a gag. Let's talk about how we actually feel about the episode as a whole. How'd you feel, Josh?
With the spectacle and stuff of it all, pretty good. I was like, yeah, this is cool. Ending was pretty cool. It was fine. You know, there's like a lot of predictability in there, cheesy sort of stuff and whatnot. But like, you know, it resolved, I guess.
It definitely.
I did like that it ran from the previous episode into this one, because I know we were talking about like they've got to cram so much into this, but I guess this was the climax of a film.
Yeah
That's what this was. This is the last third of a Marvel movie.
Yep.
That's what this entire episode was.
Totally.
So we have 8 episodes of the other part of the Marvel movie, and then this is just it's the 40 minutes of the ending.
Yeah,
that's it. And I think like it wrapped up pretty good. I'm relatively satisfied, I guess.
Yeah.
There's probably questions that I haven't thought of yet.
Yep.
That you'll probably bring up because you've probably thought.
Here's the thing. No, I don't think there are any questions apart from some. Okay. But there's certainly some. But in terms of the main plot, I think they definitely wrapped up everything, and I don't think they should have. I think that the fact they wrapped everything up is the biggest problem with this episode. Is it doesn't spend any time with those wrap ups. It's like, here's how this thing ends. Cool. Okay, move on to the next question. Here's how this is going to work. Cool. Okay, move on. Nothing actually bounces into the next thing. It's just this. How do the kids get out? Oh, she hits her. Cool. All right, let's move on. And it's like nothing has any weight apart from the Vision scenes, which don't wrap up. The one thing in this whole episode that doesn't actually have an ending is the best thing in this episode, which is very telling. But yeah, I think, as a series-long thing, this answers all the questions that the series was ever gonna answer. I definitely agree that. Yeah. But I think that all the answers they do are just weak. It's like... I wasn't happy with any resolution. Like, I know that the entire premise of this is that Wanda is incredibly overpowered and that she doesn't know how to control those things. But she always knows how to control those things when the plot is stuck. Like... It's like, oh, how are we going to pull down the hex? Oh, she's just going to do the thing again. Okay, cool. Oh, no, like the kids are about to get killed. Oh, she's just going to stop it for a second. It's like everything just was so... I think I saw that it was either in chat, we're streaming to our chat right now, or it might have been in our Discord. Vanilla. It's like they took the easiest possible thing, and for a show that has such an incredible premise, like all the beautiful whimsy of like the different sitcoms and the stylizations of that, and then also just like taking in the ideology of that and the idea of family. But this ends with Man of Steel, people punching each other in the sky. It's like, it ends with that, and also ends with the thing that was established half an hour ago of the hexes on the side of the hex. It's like, none of this feels like it was from the show. It feels like it was from last week. and then this episode happened.
Yeah. I was just talking to my housemate. He's just going out to get some food, and he was like, "Don't tell me anything." And I'm like, "Of course I'm not." He's like, "I haven't even seen last week's," and I was like, "That is the way to watch these 2 episodes."
Yeah, that's for sure.
That is freaking perfect because they run directly into each other.
Absolutely.
The end of last week's episode is pretty much like the last frame is almost the beginning frame of this one.
Totally.
It's perfect.
It just cuts out.
So, yeah, if he watches them back to back, he's going to have a great time.
Yes.
I reckon.
Yeah, it'll be a nice, almost 2-hour long Marvel movie, basically. But you might as well start at the start. Agnes is still a little bit power hungry. She reveals, and I guess it was nice that it gave a bit of extra reasoning for the opening scene from last week of her sucking all the powers. It's like she can do that just in general. She starts sucking away at Wanda, which sounds terrible. But that's kind of all Agatha does in this episode. Like all of her intelligent, like brain twisty, churny, it's all gone, and she's become like a phase 1 villain now that just goes, "Fire at me and I'm gonna eat you." Ooh. It's like, where did Agnes go?
She's pretty weak in this, hey?
Yeah.
I will say though, just even jumping earlier on, which
in the start of the episode,
the previously on, I don't know if you watched it.
Yep.
But the first scene of the previously on was the post-credit scene of episode 7. So I'm like, I wonder how many people
have even seen that,
saw that and went, "Wait, what?
I missed that."
When was that previously?
Yeah,
because they totally missed that there were post-credit scenes. For sure. I wonder. I'm very intrigued by that.
You wonder? Totally. I will say that being in this episode set my expectations high of what they would do with that, but the inclusion of like the sigil moment in the I was like, oh god, it really is just we need that for later. God damn
we all knew already.
Yeah.
We all knew it was coming. But
it's Mandalorian, the episode of Ahsoka. If you didn't know Ahsoka's in this, it's like, remember when I said the word Ahsoka? It's like, okay, cool. So it's the Ahsoka episode. Thanks for that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because they were doing so well with their previously ons, because it was all their previously ons had the benefit of it just basically being contained within the show, and it's like, okay, you're just telling me what happened last week just to fill me in, but then it was like the crucial detail of those friggin' wall sigils. I'll say, skipping to when she does that, I thought it was very good, obviously very telling what she's doing when she's missing her shots and firing at the walls. Very Marvel as well. Like I feel like we've seen lots of, it's like Hawkeye and Civil War when he fires and he's like, "You missed," and he's like, "Did I?" And then all the cars come out. It's like, what a friggin' scene. Also, Wanda and throwing cars. She can't be fucking stopped. She just
friggin' loves it.
Yeah.
But I love that she goes over, sees the empty boots. Very Wizard of Oz, right?
Very well done.
So Wizard of Oz.
I thought they were gonna like curl up underneath the car.
That would have been so good. Yeah, totally. Good. And then I will say when Vision comes down, White Vision, and then he sort of starts squeezing her head. I swear he says Rhonda. I swear I heard him say Rhonda. Rhonda. Ridiculous. Oh yeah,
I did. I like that they jumped on that very quickly. It's very sinister. It's obviously a lot of dramatic irony, and that we're like, we know what's about. As soon as he puts his hand on it, he's like, "Oh, this is not where you want to be."
No, not at all.
But and then we just get our beautiful like. And if Sam was in the chat, he would be so excited. He loves these moments of like everything's dire and then the hero just fucking comes out of nowhere and just Vision just barreling and he's like, "I got him." I'm like, "Oh, this is great."
Yeah.
It feels so good.
What a shot. The start of this episode just starts.
It does.
Like it does.
I wonder if they
barely takes a second.
They did have an hour and a half long episode they cut in half because it really feels like that. It really feels like it wasn't supposed to end.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like Agatha's in like mid-sentence as the episode starts.
Yeah. But then having the sigil thing, so because they're so close together. If this was one episode, it would be like. But you wouldn't have to... Man, it's like too close, it's almost kind of thing.
I don't know if it's better or worse, because at least if they do it there, then it gets called back within the episode. It's like, cool, it's a callback. But this is like, you gave us a whole week of us going, yeah, I know what's about to happen. Whereas in this, it would have just kind of rolled through, and it had been, because if you remember, this is like a movie. If it's within a movie, that's just a callback. That's kind of fine.
Yeah. I think it's just like, it's so soon. Like, if you actually sort of time out the thing, it's probably maybe an hour.
Yeah, which is like in a movie. That's fine.
Yeah, okay.
That's totally fine. I see what you mean, though. It would. Yeah. It's fine that they
I feel like in the time in there, like in their reality time, it's been like 20, 30 minutes.
Totally.
Like, she told her this, and she's like, I'm going to use that against you.
Yeah.
Right now. Like, you just told me about it. You're an idiot. Which, pretty much, yes.
Yeah, I don't know if this is directly after this, but we do eventually get to catch up with Monica and Pietro, who turns out to just be not Agatha's husband in, like, the lamest twist. I mean, that's one of the questions I don't think is finished. I do think there is possibly more to that than what this episode gave. Like,
than Ralph Boner.
Because, like, I mean, that feels like something that Peter from the Fox universe would make up as a joke. Like, because he's a very douchey
Even when
character.
she said it. Yeah, even when she said it, he's like, Boner.
Yeah.
It's like come on, man.
And also, like, does that make him... Because the one question I really wanted answered was who was Wu's witness protection person. And I'd kind of gone on the thing of, like, that's just to get Wu at Westview, to be like, there's a connection for him to be there. But, like, it would be cool if Ralph is his one, just so that maybe in the Agents of Atlas series or whatever Wu will do, they can deal with it there. I just don't want him to be finished, Joshua. Like,
not
waste.
At all. Yeah. Absolutely. He's got to still be in it. But speaking of Wu, get a bit of Wu.
We do.
He's
get
great
a bit of
as
Wu.
always. The guards that brought him into that room are the worst guards in the world. Because they just walk in. There is literally they showing Wu, and you can see the guard behind him holding a gun, looking away, while Wu is like sneaking over and taking the phone.
Yeah.
The guard is like, he looks so purposefully looking in the other direction.
Yeah.
Like, it looks so faked, or like he's like, I know what he's doing.
Totally.
I don't care.
It's fine.
I'm just going to look over here.
I mean, and then, when you got a boss like Hayward, you're like, oh, fuck it. If someone's going to take him down, I'll deal with it.
I don't care.
Yeah.
And then he does the magic. So he gets himself out of the handcuffs, which is great because he did it from magic school.
Yeah.
And then he says flourish.
Everyone's
It's
a fan
so
of
good.
WandaVision.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I loved it.
I hope he carries that with him.
Flourish.
I hope that's like...
flourish.
He uses that in like the next Ant-Man or something.
Please. That was... I do think... was such a good little moment.
I do think, barring Darcy, who obviously does get a nice little superhero save moment, I think everyone gets time in this episode, which was nice. As much as the twist on Pietro is dumb and unfortunate, at least we get time with him. I like the Monica stuff. She has got such a presence. Like, I didn't think anyone would be able to kind of overpower Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany being on screen, because we spent so much time with them in the films. But every time she has a conversation with Elizabeth, like at the end when they have a conversation, I was like, you are a superhero. Like, I want you to have a solo movie. Her stance and her like presence just has so much power. Yeah.
And like the way she talks to people always feels so meaningful for some reason.
Totally.
It's like, why? Why are you so epic? I don't understand.
She's amazing.
But yeah, she was great. I love that scene where like she comes in and kind of stands in front of the boys and stops the bullets and stuff. But just before that, Wanda's about to fly away and she's like, boys, handle the military. It's like, what a line.
Which is where they should have had the friggin' Quicksilver scene with the kid.
Yes. And I really was expecting him to run out and do... And
then just like, stop and then...
both of them even? At the same time?
They'd be working together with the music and everything.
Because you almost get it. but it doesn't go into slow-mo.
Yeah.
But you see them all do it. You see the kid take the
Taking
cap off.
guns and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that he takes the cap and,
And
the
the
glasses,
glasses.
and then he stands there at the end, and he's like,
Yeah.
like just so proud of himself.
There
with
was
his
a
glasses.
Quicksilver scene inside all of that action, and it just didn't happen. It's like,
It could have been so cool.
my God, you were so close. Yeah, that I think if I have one disappointment overall, everything, it's the fact that we didn't get one of those sequences in this, and also considering the kids are gone, like. Are we gonna get that anytime soon?
Could have done it.
Like, I think there's a big discussion to have at the end of that.
A little bit.
But I guess we should
little big discussion.
a little big. The Vision stuff. I think one of the biggest problems in this episode is all the superheroes fighting in air. Like every 5 seconds, someone takes off to go into the sky, and it's like this is getting Zack Snyder level. Like just stay on the ground.
Yeah.
But I think what is phenomenal about the Vision stuff is once they've had their little fights, when they have their moment in the library where Vision called Norm a communist, or whichever character a communist, the fight between two technological robots is all dialogue driven. Like when it comes down to it, they fight via dialogue, and it's like that is Vision.
Yeah, he's defeated by logic.
Yeah.
Talking about the ship of Thesis.
There
For
it
audio
is.
listeners, I'm holding up a book. This is where I learned. So this is a book called This Book Does Not Exist.
Good.
Adventures in the Paradoxical, because of course I would own a book like this.
Yes.
And I learned about this years ago on the train on the way to uni. It's super cool.
Yeah.
And the way they were discussing it, I was like, that makes so much sense as soon as he said, have you heard of the ship of... What is it? Thesis?
Theseus?
Thesis.
Yeah.
Theseus, that's the one.
Yeah.
I'm reading it.
I know,
and
I'm like-
I don't know how else to pronounce this.
That's why I didn't want to cut you off, because I'm like, Josh has got the book. I assume he's saying it the right way.
No, Theseus.
Yeah.
It's just... Yeah, I love that as soon as he said it. I'm like, oh, he's got him. He's got him.
It's basically
Here it is.
like I've come to kill Vision. He's like, no, you. It's basically
Pretty
it.
much.
It's
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I loved it. I don't know where I've heard it, but the same thing. As soon as he said the boat, I was like, oh yeah, this is great. It's like,
Yeah.
you've definitely found the in for this, and I like that it's
So
over
cool.
so quickly. Like I like that it's not an insane fight. They are at the end of the day the same person, and Vision has now to an extent understands what he once was and what he would have to say to bring him to the forefront, and also. The fingers on the head finally makes sense when you're downloading data. It doesn't make sense when you do it to humans, but when you do it to a robot, okay, I get what your golden fingies are doing. Although I guess now he was the Mind Stone. He was made of the... Holy shit! He was made of the Mind Stone! That's it!
Dude!
Yes! Now I get it! That's why you can
This
do
is
it!
why we do these freaking podcasts.
Yes! Good!
Oh my goodness.
It's what Loki was doing to everyone. He was just doing the opposite. Holy shit. What? I feel like that's something we should have gotten last week, but I'm glad that we captured this live.
Yeah, absolutely. How is... So we're doing this on
Twitch.
Right now. Is anyone in chat
surprised by this?
Surprised by that? Let us know. This is the one time we're reading chat because that was awesome. That was such a good realization.
Yeah, everyone know it makes total sense. Yeah, cool.
But did it before, or are you just realizing this now?
Yeah, it was all yellow. Okay, I didn't think about it till just then, VMAX says. Yeah, cool.
Cool.
I'm glad.
The one thing I was interested... I noticed it last week.
All right,
sure,
Halo.
you did.
Sure.
No, we believe you.
He said no.
One thing I was...
So.
One thing I was interested in was, like, the Vision knew exactly how to use all his powers, even though he's never used them before like that. Like, he was fighting exactly like he used to.
Totally, yeah.
He didn't remember he fought like that.
No. But he had all those memories.
I thought that was a little bit weird.
Oh no, the memories were being unlocked in the other Vision. That's right.
Yeah, in the other Vision. So, but our vision.
He shouldn't know how to fight.
Wanda's vision. Yeah, it's like, how did you know? Sorry. How did you know how to fight like that?
Yeah. How'd you know you could put your fist through people?
Yeah. Wild.
I'm glad he could, because he would be dead very quickly. Otherwise.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Although, can he die?
I don't know, man. Look, I don't know. See, the thing that I thought was going to happen with the White Vision, and I assumed that that's what was going on, when Other Vision came out, I was like, oh, that's White Vision, this is cute. The Other Vision is in there, and like, at the end of the episode, White Vision, who is now coloured, would be with Wanda as it all falls apart, and he stays as the walls all come down, and then we cut to the library, and the Other Vision's just like, is accepting his death. And he's like, I know I've given the Other Vision Wanda now. And like, that's what I assumed that's what was going to happen. Because just the way it was all choreographed, of like, the moment of like change happened, and then a coloured Vision flew out, I was like, oh, okay, they've made the switch. Like, that's the Other Vision now. But no, that would be too clever for this show. I'm sorry.
Too good.
It'd be too smart. So yeah, I mean, the whole Vision thing was a nice resolution. I think it's unfortunate how quickly we're like, all right, White Vision's normal now. He's somewhere. We'll come back to him later. Like, it was another very safe thing, not keeping the evil android alive in the universe. And it was also very quick. Everything, and we knew, we were like, they've got to solve so many things in such a short amount of time. But everything was very quick, including once bullets and guards were fine, and Vision had worked out all his shit, and Wanda, who has been deteriorating throughout this episode, there was a photo, which I think is the thumbnail of the Disney Plus upload, that was out earlier this week, and it was of them all like power-bearing looking, kind of as the family, and it was like the camera was right on Wanda's hand, and it was grey, and I looked at him like, something's off there, but I was like, oh, maybe she's just in the shade or something.
Wow.
So it was out there for a while.
Disney, come on.
They didn't do very well. And Darcy rammed into Hayward in the truck. In the truck? Yeah. He was trying to leave, and then she did that. I was like, for a moment, I was like, did she destroy him?
Yeah, I think he was in the car, she rammed into him in...
After he tried to shoot children. Can we just...
Yes.
That's like a step beyond what I expected from that man. Like, I know he's bad, but shooting children, who, I mean, obviously fictional children, but he doesn't know that. They're just children.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Why?
I think he probably might like assume that they're part of the whole thing, but they're also superpowered. He just seems to want to take down superpowered beings. What a
dick.
Weird.
I don't know.
Yeah. But after that, I guess we get Wanda using her OG powers from Age of Ultron.
Even the little...
Yeah.
I'm running for people on audio.
The weird little... And then the hands on the side of the head.
It's the same sound
Loved
effect.
it. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's the thing.
Yeah.
So cool to see that again.
Yeah,
loved it.
I'm just glad we haven't left the weird running thing in the past. I like that that came back.
It's weird. I don't know how she does it.
Yeah,
she doesn't have super speed.
No,
what's going on there? It's great. It's weird and it's great. I love it.
It's so good. And again, just giving more context to that dumb scene from the start of last week. Just giving it more of a reason for us to have watched it. Creepy as I think this is probably the darkest, and it makes sense going into Doctor Strange too. This is probably the darkest the MCU's ever been. Like, just those witches popping up and like whispering names, and like that's proper horror movie thing. Like that's just
still being basically corpses.
Yeah, being reanimated. Yeah, that scene again. It's just more people just firing stuff at... I'm worried for Marvel and Magic because they nailed Doctor Strange, but everyone else just kind of fires light at each other, and it's like, you're not doing anything.
Yeah, I'm kind of hoping with some things that happened in a post-credit scene, maybe she'll have more abilities than just firing magic out of her fingies.
I hope so. I really do.
Hopefully.
It's just so bland. Like, even when she's, like, flying and throwing her hexes at the hex, it's like, it's the same thing you've been doing since 2015.
Yeah, it doesn't look all that different. But I love the freaking little light crown that comes up.
Oh, yeah.
And it just keeps appearing. I would have been happy if that was it.
Yeah, totally.
If she just, like, wore, like, her normal other outfit or other random outfits that she gets. And then when she starts using her power and getting real intense, she just gets this cool little light crown that just kind of floats in front of her head. That would have been sick. That would have been so cool.
I loved it because, like, they obviously slightly established it last week, and when Mama Agnes does her thing, get a little bit of crown. I think Agnes does one as well. So I like it. It looks cool, but that's not where it ended. Once she had given Agnes all of her powers. Sorry, video listeners. Joshua is just fading into the hex right now. She gave all of the powers over to Agnes, whilst also putting up all those runes around the hex. And then it's another one. It's another, like, Emperor Palpatine in Rise of Skywalker. It's like, what's actually the mechanic at play here? You give her all her power, or all your power, but she can't put it back. But she is using her powers to get your power, right? Like,
yeah.
Yeah. How does or is it like she's just
that
opening?
Magic and she's faking it?
Yeah,
like,
but I mean, Agnes is also a witch. She definitely would know.
She should know. Yeah,
because it definitely felt.
I don't know. Because that part's
because I was along that train as well until she started sucking out all of Agnes's power at the same time as hers. Because now I'm like, actually, your power actually was in Agnes. Because she was like, I'm taking Agnes's and my power back at the same time, and then she manifests a costume. Which I actually think looked better when we couldn't see it. Like, I think it looked far better last week when it was bathed in light that was hiding. Just, her hair is an issue. The hair looks bad. The hair looks like it looks like a 1980s Rogue in the comics, where it's just huge and weird.
Okay, I'll have to take notice. I was mostly looking at the rest of it because it totally just looks like all the other MCU outfits.
Totally,
like
it really does.
The textures of it.
They've got one roll of fabric, they just dye.
Yeah, and just like one giant slab of like matte metal that they paint. Yeah, that's it.
And then just
I love it. It's cool. Yeah, I love it. It's cool. It looks great. The crown looks cool too. But it's just the same as everyone else's. But I'm like, all right, you've been hanging with only Avengers, so you can just have your outfit that suits them.
Yeah, it's fine. It'll look good. It'll look good with all the other Hot Toys figures.
I think it looked really cool. I think the outfit was still pretty cool. In context of everyone else's as well.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know what it was about. For me, it felt actually cheaper than like a CW outfit. It felt very rubbery and like ill-fitting. It didn't look very nice, and like it just looked like her arms were just popped out of it. Like for me, it felt like they had made it for someone else and then given it to Elizabeth Olsen. And I really hated the hair. The hair is what really got me. It's like
I've got to check out this hair.
It looks terrible. But it's fine. I'm sure hopefully she gets a different costume. I'm just glad she's got a costume, and she's called the Scarlet Witch now. So,
yes.
Good on her.
Not that we were ever calling her anything else until this.
Literally, all the documentaries are always called her Scarlet Witch. Everyone's like, the Scarlet Witch, but she's never been called it.
Never.
But yeah, no, I was disappointed. I actually was... I think maybe not seeing it properly last week set an expectation in my mind, and when it actually got revealed, I was like, nah, that looks a bit shit. But that's fine. White Vision looked cool in the end. But yeah, then another resolution of Agnes being in that, she was like, haha, I'm not actually going to help you. Everything's still a problem for you. And then Wanda is like, yeah, it is. And there's actually no resolution in the fact that like everything is a problem and everyone that she loves is still going to die no matter what happens. She takes the kids back home. Obviously, Monica's there and all the people. This episode's just so weird. Like,
yeah,
it's like, I don't know It felt like a different team wrote the end of this, because what we're getting to is the best part of the episode, when she takes the kids back home and they have a scene, and Paul Bettany is basically crying from the moment they enter the house. Like, the entirety of the end of this episode, he's just in tears, and it's like heart-wrenching. I didn't think I would care about this, because the episode was so shit up until this point that I was like so out of this world, and I was so not excited to be watching WandaVision anymore. But then this just reminded me of those first 6 episodes, and I'm like, this hurts.
Yeah. It was lovely. It was so cool, just them, going back home, tucking the kids into bed.
Yeah.
Looking out the window where the kids couldn't see, and seeing this wall of red just coming at them like a freaking volcano has just erupted, and they're just waiting to die.
Yep.
Which literally most of them were. Just intense.
It's definitely... I was waiting for her to like stay a little too long and have the comic book moment of seeing her kids fall apart. I'm glad they didn't, because it would have been too much.
When they closed the door, I was almost expecting like red to like shine through, as it just sort of takes the
kids away. Yeah.
But Wanda and Vision get another few minutes. The wall is moving very quickly and then very slowly
whenever it needs to,
in key moments. Yes. So they head downstairs. They get their final moment, which is just beautiful. Vision cries, which they both seem very surprised that that's possible.
Yeah, and that's.
I guess, what is he?
Isn't that like one of the comics? Is do androids cry? And it's just a Vision just shedding a single tear. I feel like that's a panel in a comic book.
Okay, yeah, probably. Sounds like it probably would be.
Yeah, but beautiful scene. I was still at that point was when my theory was out the window. I'm like, no, he's sad to die. Like this is actually going to be heart wrenching.
But totally. And I just had a super quick look at the chat just then, seeing Argan say cubes. So yes, there's a lot of cubes in this section. It's very cool.
Yeah. Just before we move on from the kids, because we don't need to talk about them after this fact. Do you think that's it? Do you think that they made these 2 huge characters from the comics in the lead up to a Young Avengers film, and then just went, nah? Like, is this... No, correct, right?
No.
Like...
post-credits, right?
Oh, right. Is that what you think that is? Interesting. Right. I didn't think that at all. Okay. That's what that was.
What? They were yelling mummy.
Were they? I didn't watch it properly.
Oh.
I'd already tapped out. Cool.
Okay.
All right. I assume, so just skipping to it. No, we won't. We'll get to it. Like, I don't know. Everything fades away. It's real sad. Wu and Darcy isn't there anymore. They clearly could only pay for 5 minutes or 30 seconds of Kat Dennings in this episode.
Yeah, apparently she's just gone.
Is she going to be in, like, Thor? Is she going to be in another movie? Like,
surely she'll be back in Thor, right?
I mean, Natalie Portman is here.
Yeah,
literally
Jane's back
here. So. And yeah, because they say something about her going somewhere. So BMAC is saying
maybe Kat Dennings had to jump on a plane and go to Australia.
Listen, there is photos coming out of this set of people that are on this set that were not in Thor. So I think there is literally not a single name in the history of cinema that you can say is not in Thor, because they're probably currently on the northern beaches right now.
Yeah, the entirety of Hollywood is currently in Sydney.
It's baffling. It's
crazy.
There is no... BMAC, you could say she's not in Thor, but that means Paul Bettany said that there was an exciting cameo, and it was himself. So... The Marvel Universe is full of liars.
You cannot trust these people.
The Russo brothers said the trailers had 15 minutes in it, and they featured Hawkeye running away from Outriders, which happens in the last 15 minutes of the movie. So, these Marvel cretins. Yeah. Basically, yeah, there's a nice scene with Monica. I mean, the thing that we didn't address is the fact that Wanda has sitcomized Agatha to stay in Westview, which I think is just even more hints towards she is going to have a House of M moment. Like, she is going to go down a dark path the longer we spend with her, because Agatha is very adamant this is not okay. And also, knowing Agatha in the comics, she's not exactly. I know she was very bad in this and very out of character, but she is very adamant that she has started something that is very, very bad. So I think that obviously we're going to have those ramifications. But I thought that was interesting. Predominantly, they basically went, okay, this is all we can do with Agatha in this show, but we know we're going to need her in Doctor Strange 2, but we don't know how to leave her alone so that we can get her later. So let's just, like, literally ice her and just leave her in Westview so that we can just pick her up halfway through Doctor Strange. Like, it was weird, but also funny knowing where the universe is going. It's like, I know why you're doing that.
Yeah. For sure. The word icing is like icing her.
Yeah.
Is perfect.
Yeah.
That's totally what they're doing. Yeah. It's just like,
they fridged her.
She can't get away now. Yeah. She's stuck.
Yeah.
Until we need her.
Yeah.
We'll get her out. She's the new Winter Soldier.
Literal icing.
Bust her out of there. Yeah, just bust her out of there when we need her. Put her back in when we don't.
I was totally expecting Wanda to, like, kill her and that she would come back as Ghost Agatha, which is what she predominantly is in comics.
Yeah,
and then she'd be like it all, and she'd fix everything, and then one of the post-credit scenes would be like Wanda chilling somewhere, and then it's like, okay, so we really need to talk. And it's like, she's set up as the real Agatha, which is like her tutor, which she, people die a lot in Doctor Strange movies, so she could end up dying in the Doctor Strange movie, and then it's
true
down the line.
Yeah.
But I just think, Agatha's character, Agatha is the villain of this show, as much as she shouldn't have been, and there is no resolution to her character. Literally the only character in this entire show that has a resolution is Vision. Wanda kind of does, but also she does in the like comic book movie thing of like, this one thing has happened to me and now I'm a different character. It's like, there's no progression for her. It's like, oh, these are my powers. Oh, I'm now a superhero. It's like, how did you make that leap? Like, what the hell?
Like she's still
sad.
And she's still mind controlled hundreds of people.
Yeah.
If not thousands. Like she did something real bad.
She did. And like, I reckon actual people have died. Like, the way that, like, Dottie, or whatever her real name is, talked to her, she's like, my daughter has been locked in her room for, like, 2 weeks. Can you let her out, please? It's like...
Yeah, let me hold her.
What the fuck?
Like I said, I don't know if it ever got on the stream, because I think I was talking to you outside of the stream about this, but, like... How are the people on the outskirts feeding themselves if they're frozen? Like, if the kids are locked away in a room, how are they getting fed?
Maybe. Can I give you like a theory that makes zero sense, but could be
Please give me anything. Where the F did Mr. Hart go?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Anyway, very intrigued by that.
The postman, who was a pizza man, is actually still delivering pizzas to everyone, and that's why he's so tired, because he's like, let me rest, was his line. It's like, he actually is still just delivering pizzas, and he never stops.
He's the one Uber driver of Westview. Yeah. That's it. That's the best.
There you go, there's my retcon. And
that'll do.
Then Wanda flies off, going past a few signs. The first credit scene, I thought was weird, like... It was something that I think a lot of people theorized. A lot of people theorized that the engineer that we ended up getting was a Skrull, and that she would reveal herself to Monica and be like, hey, I'm a Skrull. Also, check out space. And we kind of got that in a roundabout way. It was just a different character, which felt like a waste. You totally
it was
just gone with the engineer.
It was someone who wasn't anyone, right?
Yeah, totally.
Like it was just some random, like, sword agent, maybe?
Yeah. Like,
or whatever that we've never seen before, or if we have, she hasn't really existed as a character.
I don't know, because they all look the same. That is the point of Skrulls. But I'm wondering if that was Talos' daughter, who has a connection with Monica. But I feel like she probably would have said that, because why wouldn't you?
Yeah. I just meant like as the sword agent.
Oh yeah, totally. She means
a human form. It would have been nice to have her as being a character that we have
not
cared about, but that we've seen. And maybe like if you rewatched it, you'd be like, that's why she made that decision, because she actually also doesn't like her what's his name? Haywood.
Yeah.
And she the whole time has been like planting little things throughout it, and you could go back and watch and be like, she's a good guy, she knows what's going on. Or that would be so cool, but she's
no one. Or she could just like wear Colby Smolder's skin, because everyone else does.
Yes,
everyone else dresses up.
Why
as
not?
her.
It's the best.
But yeah, so it kind of alludes to go into space, go check out Sword in space. I'm praying that Sword is more interesting than Shield ever was. I mean, obviously, having something like Secret Invasion already on the line, there's already a lot more time going to be spent in the world of Sword. But and don't talk to me about Agents of Shield. That wasn't Shield. That was the Shield that existed after Shield was already gone. Like, that's not what Shield was. So it'll be nice if we can kind of learn about this.
Yeah, Shield was more interesting when it turned out to be Hydra.
Yeah, totally. That was the most
the most interesting part of Shield was when it was Hydra.
When it was Hydra,
yeah.
So hopefully we get a little bit more of that. But what we did get a little bit more of was another scene, which was like the build up to that moment was so bizarre to watch, because I'm like, what am I looking at? Like, these like beautiful luscious trees and like all these. I'm like, is these like leftover shots from The Shining that didn't get used?
This is like Valhalla. Like,
I really
seems
thought,
like you're just flying through Norway.
I thought we were gonna get to like a Thor related thing. I legitimately was like,
super icy. But no, we get Wanda, Thanosing herself, just in a little hut in the middle of nowhere, away from everyone. Just got some tea on the boil.
She's probably going to sit down and play some Fortnite. That's what all Marvel characters do.
That's it. Sounds good.
When they get in the hut.
And then you get a camera that continues going through the house as Wanda walks away with her tea, continues into another room.
And the Doctor Strange theme plays, and I like wet myself.
Yes.
It was so good.
So it's you get astral version of Wanda.
Only 2 hands. I was expecting more hands.
That was
just kind of doing this with a book. I thought there was going to be more hands.
Yeah, very, very Doctor Strangey, just floating, reading this book.
Yeah.
And when did you tap out? Because this is where the
I
kids
just heard
saying,
I didn't hear any words. I just heard like a cry. I didn't hear a mum.
Right. Yeah. So there's like there's a bunch of crying and stuff, and then it's basically them saying like mummy help or something, and then that's when she's like she kind of like wakes up and stuff, and then that's the hard that's cut. Where it all cuts. Yeah,
cool.
So it's definitely there. So they do exist. They're going to be back.
It's Mephisto.
100%.
Mephisto was working with Agatha. Mephisto is the main villain of Doctor Strange 2. He's like, your kids were always real. I was just giving you a vision of them. Come on over. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's like it will be Mephisto, because if it's still kid related, he is the only player in that space that, and he also fits with the Doctor Strange realm as well. It was Mephisto all along, Argon.
Necrotext just also said it says Billy.
Oh, right.
As the subtitles, as the mummy thing. So that's interesting.
Yeah, I think maybe
subtitles give away so much.
There's a whole entire conversation in the episode 6 or episode 7 that's happening as a news broadcast, but they obviously didn't lift that volume up to ever be heard. So when she's making her bowl of cereal, there's like 8 lines of dialogue that come up as subtitles that are not audible at all.
Wow, because I remember trying to listen to that and then it's so quiet. I'm like, we mustn't need to
be listening.
Need to hear this.
Yeah.
What? Going back to that now that you've brought that up, she's eating her cereal.
Yeah.
On the front of the cereal is a missing person.
Yeah.
What is that?
Oh man, there's so much shit in this show. Like, if Pietro is nothing, he was literally only there to misdirect us. There's so much stuff in the show that is only there to not make you look at Agatha. Like, that's everything in the show.
See, this is where I'm like, now I'm like thinking of these things, and I'm like, holy crap,
what is this thing? Because when I saw that, I assumed it might have been someone that somehow for a moment broken out of the illusion and like they've lost their kid and they're like, where is my kid? Kind of thing.
Yeah.
Dolphin Pants in the chat just brought up a good thing. The fact that the resolution to Pietro's mind control is literally just a necklace is so stupid. Like,
yeah,
it is bafflingly stupid. Like, I just didn't need that at all.
Yeah, it's super, like, just magic. It's fine to just be magic. Everyone else is being controlled by magic.
Not a physical object.
It's sweet. Has he been wearing that the whole time?
I definitely saw it in the Halloween episode. I remember when he was in a singlet, he had a necklace on.
Yeah, I kind of remember it. But I'd be interested to watch everything and see it the whole time.
They didn't put that necklace there to be like, this is mind control. It's a necklace. Like,
yeah.
It's like, it's the Sherlock, it's the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock movies where it's like, this is the problem. But it's like, that wasn't a logical string you just went down. They were just things that you never showed us in this movie. Like, what are you talking about?
And that episode was the Malcolm in the Middle one, which is like super 90s, and that's a super 90s necklace.
Absolutely.
So it's like, that just makes sense.
Yeah.
That just fits with the times, guys.
And the one thing I'll never get over, and I guess we didn't see his speed once he'd been broken out of the spell, but the fact he can run fast still pisses me off. Like, he shouldn't have Quicksilver's powers if he's not Quicksilver.
Syntax just said, does this suggest his control is technological, not magic? So I'm wondering whether that was also giving him powers, like that had a hex that allowed him to run fast.
Maybe.
I don't know if that's what Syntax meant, but I'm just thinking that, like, is that what, like, she couldn't give him powers through normal magic?
God,
but he
I
had
hope
to wear
not.
the thing.
That's disgusting.
I don't know. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
necklace gives him speed.
I don't want it to be. I hate everything they did with his character. I think that was probably
the resolution sucked.
Yeah, and as I said at the top as well, Boner definitely sounds like something that Peter from the Fox universe would give himself. The other thing that I like got so excited for, and you wouldn't remember this because you only watched Days of Future Past before we watched Logan, but the attic that he's in is basically where Logan and everyone goes to see him when he's downstairs, and it's just like beanbags everywhere and like an arcade. I'm like, that is what he lived in Days of Future Past. Like, that seems like an intentional thing. Like, everything that he's wearing blue constantly. Like, everything leads to he is a Quicksilver, and then they're like, nah, we'll deal with that later. But
surely,
maybe she goes back to Westview to pick up frozen Agnes, and then he's still there, and Doctor Strange is like, you don't fucking belong here! You're coming with us, you little shit! And just grabs him, and he's like, come on home! You've had a little field trip, but you're going back to the Fox universe! This is him walking through the astral plane with him.
Word for word, please.
I want 100%. Thunder Snatch to say that. There's no way. He's got to say it.
Excellent.
There's just so many stupid decisions in this episode. But yeah, I'm gonna have to rewatch that scene because I definitely did not hear Mummy. But that, because what I heard was just cries, and I was like, oh, she's gonna go to like a scene of a crime of a magical thing, or we'll see it from Doctor Strange's perspective. He'll go there, and then she'll arrive, and they'll be like, lol, we're both magicians now.
Yeah,
and that's all it is.
Yeah. No, it was definitely kids yelling "mummy" or "help" or something.
Cool.
So they're definitely still around, or at least going to be later.
Unless she holds them,
great,
unless she gets there and holds them in her arms, and then they just turn to dust.
Oh, bloody hell, please. Turn to cubes.
Turn to cubes. Yeah. Terrible episode. I legitimately think that is my least favorite episode of the show.
Interesting. Definitely not mine.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a least favorite?
That bad.
Like the one before last week.
Yeah, probably episode 6 or 7.
Mm-hmm.
They were the ones where it kind of dipped.
Yeah, the Modern Family one. That one sucked.
Yeah, it was pretty dry and nothing. That was probably it. I enjoyed this for the most part. There's a good spectacle. There's some good like big moments and stuff. Although they're cheesy, I'm fine with it because I am
always
Joshua Everyman. But yeah. I understand. Like, now that we've discussed it, I'm like, yeah, there are a lot of questions here. But still, for the moment, I'm like, it was good.
Yeah.
I'm relatively happy with the resolution, even though there are still questions and plot holes.
I hated it so much. I hated it. What was your favorite song in the whole show? If you had to pick one.
Ooh.
Or even like, if you need a 3, you can do a 3.
Yeah. It's probably, I'll just do one, probably the Bewitched one.
Yeah.
I think that one, and...
I mean, it's the one we still hum. Like, it's the one that's
totally.
still in here.
It's the most memorable one. And like the intro to that was like the closest to any of the others. But the Partridge Family?
Yeah, that's mine. That's 100% mine.
That one's great as well, but I don't have as much of a
it definitely sticks.
Connection to that.
Yeah, they're definitely
I didn't watch Partridge Family as much, but those two are like the closest to their.
And they don't sound shit. I think beyond that, all the other songs sound really shit. Like the singers suddenly are way worse.
It kind of got super average.
The Malcolm in the Middle one makes me like my skin crawl. It's so disgusting.
It's so unfortunate. I don't know why they did it like that.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't just get like actual artists. Like it literally feels like the what I've had as a mind fiction or whatever you call it, headcanon. I've had the idea that it's the 2 people in the ads sing the songs. Like that's what I've always pictured it, because I'm like, you 2 people definitely can't sing.
The freaking ads.
That's just Agatha. I'm just going to put that tag. But then she didn't know about those things. We talked about that last week.
I will say, I think it was Mr. Sunday Movies brought up the fact that the Yo Magic, it says something about steal Yo Magic. Yeah. Which is great.
It's in there. It's in there all along.
But it's interesting that it's there and then you don't see the stealing of magic until a couple of episodes later, but
it's a weird. I think
very cheeky little thing.
I think the important thing with the ads to remember is that I don't think we ever saw the ads playing on the TV in like Sword. So I think the ads may actually just be for us. Like it's a fun thing for the actual version of the show that we're watching, not the in-universe one. Because I feel like if they wanted those to be in-universe, they probably would have shown them on the TV at some point. But I think they're very careful with not showing them. So, because like otherwise, it makes very little sense. There's a lot of things that don't add up.
I really wish that there was a payoff to that as well, I guess. It just would have been... it
would have been.
I want to know who those
moment.
people are.
I want to know more Westworld, where you're like, oh my god, everything makes sense. But in this, it's like everything's cool.
It's like, I guess you've answered the questions. That's fine.
Can I also
you've resolved them?
Can I just clear it just while we're on songs? I hate the Agatha All Along song. I think it's like graining. I don't think it's very funny. I think it's not. It's only catchy because it sounds like every other song. And obviously that's the point of all the other songs as well. But like, it just feels the least creative. And I also hated it as a reveal. Like, it came off the back of her being like, I'm Agatha. And then it's like, look, she did everything. I'm like, cool, I guess. Move on. I hated that song. And I need to clear the air on that.
That's fair. I
also hated Catherine Hahn as Agatha. I need to put that out there as well. I hate that type of performance, and I hated her in it, but I think she'll be great when she becomes a ghost, because I think that she'll mellow out a little bit, and it'll be more of an interesting comedic performance. But her,
when she...
neighbor performance, fuck, I hated it so much.
Okay. So you hated her as Agnes?
Yes, I despised it. Yeah. And I mean, I hated her as Agatha in this as well.
Mm-hmm. But I definitely didn't think she really suited being evil. Like, she's a comedian.
Yeah, I don't know. It was like Catherine Tate being evil. It's like
weird.
I don't know, it was weird.
Yeah, it's very strange. I don't know. I don't think I was too much of a fan of the Agatha All Along song either. No. It's just catchy, like just the Agatha All Along, and it's fun just to sing that part because it's so low, and dumb. Like
it's great that
funny to
she
sing
sung
like that.
It as well. I wish that Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany sung the other songs.
Yeah, that would have been
more fun.
Cool. But
I don't know. She was definitely She could have been a Phase 3 Marvel villain, and I feel like in the end she reverted to like a Phase 1. like a Obadiah Stane level. Like you're almost there, but you're still a bit shit. I don't know why you're here.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. I wish the Falcon and the Winter Soldier all the well-wishings in the world. Like I'm terrified of that show because that show was supposed to come before this, so it was supposed to whet our appetite for this sort of a show. So I feel like its quality level will be lower. It'll be a whole lot less exciting. Like that was supposed to set the bar, and then this was supposed to make you go, "Holy shit, shows can be cool." But I feel like we're just going to be like, it's a kind of action show week to week. This is fine.
Yeah. I think it'll be that. We're not going to do a weekly podcast on it.
No.
It's not going to be as twisty.
No.
Maybe like a mid and a post.
Yeah. First, mid, and post.
At most. Yeah.
But hopefully it's good. I just want Loki. Loki's got to be good. You got Tom Hiddleston in a starring role.
That'll be so fun.
It's going to be great.
Yes.
And then Hawkeye at the end of the year, and Miss Marvel, and also Marvel's What If. There's a lot happening this year.
What if?
And if you want to stay on top of all of it, you can stick around here on YouTube if you are. It's youtube.com. We don't got it. YouTube.com. Interesting. YouTube.com/each to their own is our YouTube channel. Or if you're on YouTube right now, you can jump on over to pretty much anywhere to listen to this if you didn't want to see our faces, which is more than fair.
That's it. And if you want to have a closer chat with us directly, get notifications and stuff about our streams, early access to things, exclusive access to things now that we're doing a couple of extra things. We have 4 whole tiers on Discord, on Patreon. Sorry, damn it. I almost had that pretty well, like straight. It was not too bad. Discord. No, patreon.com/each to their own. We have 4 tiers.
You've definitely said that.
$3?
Starting at 3 and ending at 20, yes.
Yeah, 3, 5, 10, and 20.
Yeah.
There's going to be freaking merch. There's exclusive stuff. There's games. I'm working on some like personal projects, and you guys are going to test it for me, and I'll put you in the credits for it as like QA or executive producers or I don't know. I'll work out something.
Yeah,
but do that. Jump on over to patreon.com/each to their own. Do that. Go do it.
And also, we're streaming this right now live on Twitch. I don't know how often we'll stream our podcast live, but if you want to do that, you can jump on over to twitch.tv/etonline. Yeah, we're good. And if you want more like WandaVision related content, we've currently got 2 comic casts on 2 of the biggest Wanda related things and Vision related things. So you can check them out either if you're listening on an audio thing, they're here. And if you're on YouTube or you're not, you can go to YouTube and they're there. But we're not. We're done. We're out. We've talked enough about this show. We have like 9 hours worth of it. Isn't that crazy?
Whoa, man. It's probably more than the show.
Absolutely.
I think we've recorded more about the show than there is of the show.
So if you want to listen to that all, it's all somewhere. But until the next episode, I have been Will.
I've been Josh.
Good night, everybody. And we wave.
Bye, everyone.
And the crowd claps. And there's credits for all the patrons. And then we have a fight, and I'm like, stop lying to me, Joshua!
Shut up, Will.
That's me floating.
I can't do that. I have to...
You get to run into the thing. WandaVision. It's so not a note. Okay, good.
Nah.